Hello, Frontier Doubles League. It is your boy Rhino Boy 11, finally flying solo on the FDL Central, your hub for all things FDL. I absolutely cannot wait. Hawkish, I'm sure, will be watching, but it is officially my baby. So we are gonna kick off FDL Central today. As you can see, as you can hopefully see, I have two wonderful guests with me. They are right below me. First off, we're going to welcome to the FDL Central the Colts captain. Please welcome Moifin.
Hello.
Hey, man. I should have caveated that it's Elite Colts captain, right?
Yes,
Sir.
I am the
Good
captain for the Origin team.
stuff. And as you can hear, we have another guest who is the captain of the Origin team for the Colts, just below Moifin. It is Elite Snipers. How are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. Very excited to get this underway, repping the brand new merch that has finally made its way over from America. Being English sucks sometimes. But with that said, we're going to have a quick discussion with our panel here about the upcoming season. And then we will get on to the main bulk of the show, which is going to be predictions for this week's games. First up, Moifin, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. A little bit of a time coming. Congratulations on last season. Absolutely incredible season with the Gators. You and Stoobs, wasn't it, who absolutely had a massive run into the playoffs. How does it feel coming from a really good season last season with the Gators to now moving on to a brand new team?
It feels different. Feels nice though. Get to do my own thing and figure things out a little bit. Really allows me to have some freedom with what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and Elite Sniper's a very similar conversation with you. Penguins last season didn't have a terrible season, but I don't remember going too deep into playoffs. Switching over to the Colts, are you expecting something a bit different this season?
Yeah, I am, mainly for the fact of I have more say in what goes on this season since I am the captain of the Origin team.
Absolutely. We are actually blessed to have two brand new captains. First time in the role. How have you found being captain in this off season? Start with Moipin.
It was a bit different. I had a plan and it was luxury, but he already found a team, so I was like, you know what, let's see if anyone else who I know wants to play. And I found Soares, who brought in his friend, and so just went with that, and we'll see how it goes.
Very nice. Snipers, did you have a plan when you moved over to captain? Did you have people who you wanted to bring in, or did you think that did you just see how the off season went?
So I wasn't planning on being a captain this season. I was more seeing if I'd just become a player, but my friend, I'm pretty sure, was the one that reached out to me and was like, "Hey, are you interested in being captain for the Colts?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And then got signed as captain. Had one specific player in mind that I really wanted, and I got him.
Nice.
So after that, it was really just trying to see who I could pick up that was underneath the salary of I believe it was a 9. I think that was a max that we had left over. So that alone was pretty much a tough choice. But I'm glad I got who I got, and I'm excited for the season.
Let's dive in a little bit to who you did get. Your team this season is yourself, Devil, Jacob, and Light. What about these two guys in the off season really impressed you, and what made you want to pick them up for your team?
So my main reason for going with Devil Jacob is he's my brother, and we have actually, I want to say, some near 250 plus hours playing together, twos and threes. So me and him have really good chemistry, and he has really good mechanics for his salary. So that also was a positive. And then for our third light, I think it was Senpai that brought him into the league, and I held a tryout. It was him, Cobra Kai, and then a third player that showed up.
Mhm.
The third player I wasn't gonna pick. mainly for the fact of attitude. And then, so it's really between Light and Cobra. And my game plan was to get Light first, and if Cobra was there um, to be signed later on, I was going to pick him up as my reserve. But unfortunately, Cobb K from the Seagulls picked him up before I was able to. So, is what it
Very,
is. Okay.
very interesting there. There's a storyline there going into the season
Yeah.
if you guys ever play the Seagulls. But I think you're in different conferences, so we'd be looking into the off season for that. Moifin, let's bring up your elite team. Let me just have a look down here. It is yourself plus Milio and Soars.
Yep.
Give me a little bit of background into those decisions. Why you picked who you picked.
So I was playing a couple different leagues, and so I had known of Soars for 4 months now. He was in a different twos league that he absolutely farmed, and so I was like, you know what, he can farm. And then with Melio, he was like, hey, I'm gonna bring in this guy, and I was like, all right, sounds good. He said he was B plus, and I checked his tracker, and he was 19.9, and I was like, all right, good looks, y'all have fun.
I'm a sit over here. Yeah, yeah. But hey, you've got yourself a good team, both of you. Really excited for the season. The one thing that I now have to bring up before we move on to the actual predictions, we had CBK on the podcast last week, and this man had a certain little something to say about one of our guests this week. CBK said that it was Freelo to go up against Moifin this season. Do you have a response
Oh,
to CBK?
absolutely. Oh my CBK. I could take elite, and we'd farm him. It doesn't matter who's on his team, who's on mine. I farm him anyways, honestly.
Yes. This is what we want to set up for the season. I'm very excited about it. Who is CBK playing for this season?
I think he's on Eagles.
Eagles. So again, not in the same conference. So that is a big time playoff storyline if we get there. I'm very excited about it. Okay, we have covered all of the bases with our friends here on the panel. Let's now get into the nitty gritty, going for some predictions. Obviously, we have a bit more time this week because we're not going through games that happened last week because no games happened last week. It's the start of the season. Enjoy season 4, everybody at home. The first thing we're going to go to is the Origin League, as we do every week. And we're going to start with a very interesting matchup between the Coyotes and the Monkeys. The Coyotes currently have Azrael, Grandpa, and Inebriated Yupa in their team. And the Monkeys have Barneasy, J-Mans, and NR Saucy. I'm doing my best with the names, guys. You're going to have to forgive me. Let's go to Moifin first. Do you know any of these players? Do you have any background with them? What do you think this game's shaping up to be like?
Not really, but just based on salaries, I'm thinking that Coyotes take this one.
Yeah, we're looking at Azrael on a 10.7, Grandpa on a 10.5. Pretty good as far as Origin goes with a 29.5 salary cap. Snipers, obviously, this is your league. They are also in your conference. Have you done any scouting? Do you know what these teams are about?
So I'm pretty sure my team has scrimmed both these teams. Um,
Oh,
the
insider
Coyotes,
information.
the Coyotes gave us more of an issue than the Monkeys, if I am not mistaken.
Okay.
Um, it's going to be a close game. I'm excited to see who wins this, but based off salary, I'm also going to have to go with the Coyotes on this one.
Okay, 2 Coyotes votes so far. I don't know. To me, the Monkeys team looks a little bit more balanced. Like it looks to me like the Coyotes have gone quite big on salary for 2 players, and the Monkeys are kind of spreading their salary out over the 3 players. So I think it depends on who shows up on the day. Um, but you know what? I'm going to go against the grain on this one. It might come back to bite me next week, but I'm going to go with the Monkeys on this one. Close game, as you say, Snipers. I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be a good game. I'm going to go with the Monkeys for this one. 2-1 in the favour of the Coyotes, though. We'll see who wins on the weekend. Next up, it is your team, the Colts. And I assume I know where the two predictions are going on this game, but we will have the discussion anyway. Snipers, Devil Jacob, and Light taking on the Huskies this week against Callbags, Squashy, and Zabuma. Zabuma? I'm going to go with that. Again, apologies for if I get anyone's name wrong. Start with Snipers this time. This is your game. I won't ask you to predict it because I assume you know, but do you know anything about this Huskies team?
Um, so I have had the privilege to play against school bags. I believe it was during tryouts, and I'm pretty sure I played against the Boomafoo in another league. So
Mhm.
I'm excited to play them. Lineup wise, that's still up in the air and who we're gonna throw in there. I'm gonna play with my team the next 2 days and see who I like
Mhm.
to play with, and I'm gonna get their opinions. And based off that, gonna set up a lineup, and hopefully we go out there, clean sweep, and come back with the dub.
Absolutely, that's all you can hope for. Moifin, are you going with your boys on this one, or
Absolutely.
okay? I don't even need to ask, or do I really?
No shot.
2 votes for the Colts. It's not very surprising considering we have an all Colts panel. I imagine I see a theme that's going to happen for the rest of these predictions. I think on this one, I mean, Callbags and Squashy, they're 10-6 and 10-8. If those two are playing, I think the Colts might have a small issue, just based on the salaries. As I say, I don't really know many of the players at this level, but I think I'll make it a clean sweep. I think I'll make it a clean sweep. I think we'll all three go for the Colts. I have faith in my panel. Um, that is probably that could genuinely again come back to bite me next week, but when you've got Colts on the panel, you got to go for the Colts, right? Stampede, absolutely. So three votes for the Colts. There, we're going to switch over to the Flight Conference now. The other side of the Origin League, we're going to go for the Griffins, who have Senpai, Omen, and Slammermoth versus the Unicorns, Achilles, Clapbomb, and Texas Elite. Moifin, where are we going with this one?
I think that the unicorns take this one. I'm feeling like they just got it in them. I don't know. Got
It's just a
some
feeling.
they got some nice names. Texas Elite and Clap Bomb. No shot they lose.
Okay, interesting. Going based on the names. Hey, I like it. If you got nothing else to go on, Snipers again, your league. Do you know these guys? What are we saying about this particular game?
So again, my team has scrimmed both of these teams, which is very interesting to say the least.
Nice.
Um, we did play the Unicorns. We did get clapped in that game, but we were also playing Rocket League for 6 hours that day. So
Oof,
is that something to do with it? I want to say yes. And
that's a big game.
yes, it was a long day of Rocket League that day with the team. Um,
Mhm.
I'm honestly gonna have to go with the Griffins on this one. It's gonna be another close game. Scoreline should be close. Maybe they might take it all the way. Maybe you might see some overtimes in this game. But I'm gonna have to go with the Griffins on this one.
As Rocket League fans, that is all we are looking for. Some overtimes, some close games. I think this one will be. I absolutely agree. Looking at the team straight up, Senpai though is a friend of the show. Seen him play a few times. Played great last season. So I'm gonna back his boys, and I'm gonna go with the Griffins on this one. It's 2-1 on the Griffin for the Griffins on the panel. Uh, as always, you can let us know what you think in the chat. We are obviously live, so if you have any other opinions, if you have any insider knowledge, let us know. Moving on to the final game for Origin this week, it is the Dragons. We're talking about Kimono, Silent, and Kamikaze Mook against the Seagulls, Daniel Norris, Cobra Kai, and Puppy War Turtle. Snipers, let's go with you. Any insider information on this one?
So the Seagulls, I played against Daniel Norris, also known as Cupcake. I
Mhm.
played against Cobra Kai and with Cobra Kai, and I've played So basically, I played with the whole team. I played against them in another league as well.
Mhm.
Daniel Norris was my teammate last season, so show
Oh, there
some
you
love there to my guy.
go.
But I kind of want to see the Dragons take this one. As much as I respect the Seagulls and kind of want them to win, I want to see the Dragons pull this out.
A vote for the Dragons. Moifin, how are you seeing this one go down?
I'm gonna go the opposite. I think Seagulls take out in a close series.
Yeah, I mean, we sound like a broken record at this point, and I apologize for that. But I do think this will be a close series as well. The salaries look really, really close, especially if you look at Kimono and Silent, Daniel Norris and Pappy Water. We're looking at pretty similar salaries. Um, so I think this one. You know what? I'm going to make my bold prediction of the league on this one, and I'm going to go that this one goes 5 games. I think we see all 5 on this one. 3-2. I'm going to go with the Seagulls. I think I'm going to go with the Seagulls on this one. Darren Norris and Pappy Water. So if they are the starting lineup to get the dub 2-1 to the Seagulls on the panel again. Very, very interesting. Now, we do have a new league this season. It is called Adept. It's going to sit in between Origin and Expert. If you haven't heard about this by now, where have you been? We are going to run through the Adept games. I believe we have 12 teams in Adept League this year. So let's start at the top. The Coyotes, Unsung Hero, and Burn One's On, and Chuppy taking on the Rams in Kenny, RL, and Veracity. Moifin, do you know these names? What are we talking about here?
I don't. I recognize Unsung Hero, but I don't think and Veracity, but I don't think I recognize anyone else.
Mhm.
Um, but just knowing those two, I'm gonna go have to go with the Rams.
The Rams, Veracity over Unsung Hero. Moifin believes for this one. Elite Snipers, where are your allegiances in this particular game?
So Unsung Hero was actually one of my teammates back in season 0 of RL. I
Mhm.
was in the Origin team and he was the Adept team, so I know him and his play style some. I also have played with Chappie, so I know his play style, and then I just played with Kenny RL I think last night. So this is going to be another close game,
Okay,
but I'm gonna have to go with the Coyotes on this one. If they play the way I think they're gonna play, it's gonna be close, but I can see the Coyotes pulling this one off.
nice. I'm sorry, by the way, if I missed out someone that the Rams have picked up. This is the these are the um rosters as of I think like the other day. So if there's someone picked up recently, then my bad. I will also go with the Coyotes on this one. I think Unsung Hero and Burn One's On have just enough. Sorry, it was also Chappie, not Chappie my fault. We learning out here. We learning. But yeah, Coyotes for me taking this game. Let's move on to one of the best teams in I think it was Expert last season. Was it Expert or was it Origin? I can't quite remember. Rico and Styx. The boys have stayed together in the Vipers team. They've brought in Deathman for this season, and they're taking on the Monkeys in Ahi and Dark Cotto. Snipers. We know about Rico and Styx. How are you feeling about this one?
So if I'm not mistaken, I think Dark Carter was Origin last season. So I did play against. I know I for a fact I played against him, and that man's
Mm.
cracked. That's all I'm gonna say. That man is absolutely cracked. So I'm gonna have to go with the monkeys on this one.
Ooh, going against Sticks in the chat. He's not going to be happy about that. Moifin, who is your allegiances with for this game?
I'll take Vipers just because I know the Rico and Sticks farmed last season. They were nuts. Gotta go with them.
Yeah, I find it very difficult to go against the Vipers in this game. Dark Cotto may be cracked, but Rico and Sticks are also pretty cracked. Good to see you in the chat, Sticks. And I'm going to have to go with the boys, I think. And the Vipers take this one for me. Um, I think that might even be a 3-1. I think we might see a relatively easy game on that one, but we will see. We will see how that prediction goes as time goes on. The final game in the Terra Conference of Adept, we're talking about the Huskies, Milliball, Romeo, and Swanson taking on the Gators in Kin, Original Thor, and Crusher. Moifin, where's your money at for this one?
It's like Gators. I know Ken. He was pretty good last season. I think he and Crusher played together, but I'm not 100% on that. But I do know Ken and I do know Crusher, and I think they take this one.
I think that's a pretty safe bet. Snipers, where are you going with this one?
So the only person that I know as of these two teams is
Mhm.
Millable. So I'm very interested to see how this game goes, but I'm gonna have to go with what my teammate said. And I'm gonna go with the Gators on this one.
Very good. I think one of the only people I've heard in this one as well is Milliball. Obviously, I know Kin as well. But Milliball, if I'm not mistaken, was also on the Huskies last season. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how he continues his Huskies lineage. I think I am going to go with the Huskies actually. I like the look of the Gators, don't get me wrong, but I think the Huskies are going to be pretty solid this season. Milliball and Romeo, I think, have a really good shot. So that's probably where my money is. 2-1 in favor of the Gators on the panel. What do you guys think? Let us know. Moving on to Flight League, we're talking about a pretty big game actually at the start of the Adept League. We're talking about the Griffins, Actually Ant, CJ, and Pancake King taking on the Penguins with the guy we all know from the Penguins from last season, Scooteroo, and he will be partnering with Jade for this season. Moifin, what do you know about these two teams?
I don't know much, but I've seen Ant, I think, and I've seen a little bit of CJ,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure on the rest of the players. I wouldn't couldn't be able to tell you. I think it's going to be game 5 either way, but I'll take Griffins in this one.
Taking the Griffins. No, going with what you know. I respect it. Snipers. Where? How about you? Where are you going with this one?
So I played with 4 of the 5 players that were listed. The only person I have not played with is CJ. So
Okay.
I'm excited to see where this game goes, but knowing the playstyle of one particular person on said team, I don't know if it's gonna go the way they think it will. I'm gonna have to go with the Griffins on this one.
Ooh, okay. Some insider information. Would you like to elaborate, or are you just going to leave it at that?
Uh, I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm not
Okay.
trying to stir some stuff up within the league right now. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
No, that's totally not what we're here for at all. Um, no, it's all good. I personally am going to go with the Penguins. I'm going to go the other way, only because I saw what Scooter was doing last season, and if he has managed to find someone who works with him in the off season, then I wouldn't put it past him to be able to run through Adept this season. I think he was a great player last season. Um, I really look forward to seeing what he gets up to this season, and I think they will have enough in week 1 to take it. Next game is a brilliant game. It is the return of KJ and Southpaw to the Eagles. A very exciting duo. Um, can't wait to see them this season. And they are taking on the Unicorns, who I only have it in my notes that Fruipski is playing for them. Not a lot of info here, but we obviously all know KJ and Southpaw. Snipers, what's your initial take on this game?
I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles just because it's KJ and Southpaw. You can never go wrong with those two on the team.
It's really that simple, isn't it? It
It
really
really
is.
is.
Moipin,
I'm gonna have to go the same way. Same reason, same way.
I have actually found who the other player on the Unicorns is going to be this week. It is going to be Purple, playing at a salary of 11. I think for that reason, and the reason it's also a late pickup, I think the Eagles knew what they wanted to do this season. They bringing back one of the OG teams of FDL. I struggle to see a way for the Unicorns to get past KJ and Southpaw. They might surprise everyone, but I love those guys too much to not go for them. So lots of love in the Eagles for the Eagles as well in the chat. So nice to see that. Moving on to our final game of the Adepts League, we're talking about the Seagulls, which is Orange Gamer, Flight Night, and Crazy Bacon taking on the Owls. Um, I don't know if I can say that name on stream, but I'm going to have to when I'm casting anyway. So Shitty Driver, Itachi, and Lewis 2035. Snipers, what is your initial take on this game?
So I think I played against Shitty Driver Lewis and Flight Night. I've had some games with them, and they're all really solid players. So hopefully those three play, and if those three do play, it's gonna be another game to watch. It, I really hope this goes to a game five, and
Mhm.
I'm rooting for the Owls on this one.
Rooting for the Owls. Good stuff. Moifin, where are your allegiances for this particular game?
I've seen Shitty Driver play, and I've seen FlightNet play, and based on just those two, I'll have to take Seagulls here.
Okay, going the other way. Seagulls. Very, very interesting. For me, I think it's gonna be the Seagulls as well. Orange Gamer and Flight Night, I think if they start, I think are gonna get the Seagulls off to winning ways this season. I see them taking this game. Maybe not quickly, as Sniper said. Maybe it's a big game, so there's lots of eyes on it. I would imagine, but for me, that's the way it's going to go. I think. Right, that is Adept League done. We now have to move on to the next league, which will be the Expert League, of course. Please excuse me while I frantically scroll through my notes here, because the first game is going to be the Coyotes taking on the Huskies. The Coyotes have a team of I'm Yeti, Comus, and Guido, and the Huskies have developed their lineup, and it will be Reaper, Mythicality, and Skeletons. Moifin, just talk about anything that you know about this particular game.
Uh, like for this one, I think I've seen Reaper. Um, and I haven't really seen many people from Coyotes. Knowing what I know from Reaper, I have to go with what's safe in my opinion, and go with the Huskies.
Very, very nice. Snipers, who do you think is going to take this game?
So I actually have history with two players that were named, and it's not the best of history, and it's kind
Oh,
of a little iffy. But with that being said, I'm gonna have to go with the Huskies just for the fact of I know two of those players on that team, and Skeletons is definitely a person to watch. So be on the lookout for him this season.
very, very nice. For me, I think I'm going to side with the Coyotes. I think I prefer the looks and the general makeup of that team as opposed to the Huskies. Huskies seem like they are very star player, and then two, and I think Coyotes have managed to do a really good job of evening out their salaries. So for me, I think that's going to pay off for the Coyotes in this game, and I think they take the win. Next up, hold on to your seats, folks, as well, because this is our longest uh, league to go through. Second up, we have the Rams. We are talking about Mark on this, NVA, and Generic Bronze taking on the Colts, which is Harmonic, who is, of course, their GM, Gup, and Chris AC. Snipers, any history with any of these players?
Uh, no history with any of these players, but obviously you already know I'm going with this one. 100% the Colts. They are going to sweep. No doubt about it.
Sweep. Big sweep for the Colts. 3-0 prediction. Moifin, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I got it right. Is that even a question?
Okay. Very, very interesting. Lots of faith in Harmonic. I respect it. For me, I remember seeing NVA play last season and being impressed. If I remember rightly, he was in the championship game for. Was it the Rams or was it the Vipers? It was the Rams actually, because it was the same team that Michael and Kirias were on. And it was NVA and who else was playing in that game? Oh, my memory is failing me. But I said in that game, I think NVA will be one to watch in this season. So based on that, I'm gonna go with uh with the Rams on this one. I think they're gonna take it. I'm sorry, Harmonic, if you're in the chat. Apologies. But I think you lose this week. I really do. I'm going to go with the Rams. Next up is the Monkeys. We're talking Rhythm, Frank Carnival, and Marked, taking on the Vipers of Merc for Hire, Aspect, and Bubble Bass. Moifin, where are we at this one?
So I've played with Rhythm, and I've seen both Merc and Aspect play. And knowing all that information, I'm gonna have to go with the Monkeys. I just think,
Interesting.
yeah, Rhythm was really easy to play with for me, so I just think he's got it.
Mm-hmm. And anything you want to say about Merc and why you've gone against him, for example?
I don't really have anything against him. I mean, I just personally had a much easier time playing with Rhythm.
Cool. I think Rhythm and Frank is also a same team moving seasons. I think they played on the Monkeys last season as well. So good chemistry there, obviously. And this Vipers team is brand new this season. So that's one to think about. Snipers, where are you going for this one?
I'm gonna have to go with the Vipers on this one.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I think the Vipers are gonna pull this one off.
Do you have any history with these guys, or is it just a gut feeling?
It's mainly a gut feeling, but I have seen Merc for Hire play, and I have also seen Aspect play. And from the gameplay that I saw, they played pretty decently. A lot better than me, that's for damn sure.
Very, very interesting. Merc for Hire, obviously being on the Vipers last season, he played really, really well. He came in for a couple of games. I seem to remember played out of his mind. In fact, it was Merc for Hire who played in the game to get to the final against when he played against Southpaw's Eagles last season, because he had to step in right at the last minute for was it you Sticks in the chat? I think it might have been. But it was either Sticks or Rico. I cannot remember. But he played out of his mind. He played an absolutely incredible game. Yes, it was Sticks. He played really well with Rico, and I see him pushing on this season. Let's go Vipers. I think they take this one. But we will wait and see. Next up, we have the last game in Terra Conference. Blessed be the Gators, Robot Man, Burrito, and Mr. Hayes taking on the Hornets, represented by Bondo, Zinc, and Panda. Moifin, what is your thoughts on this one?
So obviously, Robot was my GM last season, and I actually had to play with him in Star for a game. I'm not sure who we played, but we 3-2'd him and won.
Okay.
But that being said, I've also played with Zinc, and I know Bondo is solid, and
Mhm.
so I'm actually going to have to go with the Hornets here. It's going to be a really close series, and I think it's a game 5. But
Game 5 prediction from Moifin. Very, very interesting. Going against our legendary streamer in Robot. Snipers, who is your pick here?
I'm just go with the same thing my teammate said. I mean, you can never go wrong with going Tim Rush as a teammate, right?
True. That is true, unless you both get it wrong. But
Well, and if we both get it wrong, then at least we'll be together. So won't leave him hanging by himself.
Colts till you die. Hornets for both of you two then, right? Interesting. I think I like the looks of the Hornets team more as well. I seem to remember seeing Zink play last season and thinking he played really well. Obviously, nothing against Robot, great Rocket League player. I just think that the Hornets are going to take this. Our wonderful streamer is in the chat, by the way, giving his own opinions as well. So have a look at those. Hornets by a mile, he says. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see if that comes off. Now, this game is going to be very, very interesting. It's the first game of the Flight Conference. Very, very exciting for me. It's Hawkish basically making his Rocket League FDL debut in the Dragons, taking on the unicorns of Cody and KC. Sorry, the other Dragons players are Minik and Jalapeno. Hawkish can't sit on the bench this season. Moifin, do you think that's going to be detrimental to the Dragons?
I'm gonna say a little bit, yeah. I think I take the unicorns in this one.
Good, thank you. I appreciate the honesty. Snipers, do you agree?
I'm excited to see Hawkins play this season, so I'm gonna have to go with the Dragons on this one.
Very interesting indeed. I love Cody and KC as a pair. I watched the Unicorns play last season in the playoffs. I thought they looked great. But for the amount of rubbish that I give Hawkish, I feel like I have to at least predict his team to get me back on the level so I can talk more trash next week. So I'm gonna go with the Dragons. I think the Dragons take this one. Tight game. I think Cody and Casey have a great relationship. I think they have a great partnership. But for me, Hawkish does the work in the off season, and I think he will have done this season as well. Looking forward to seeing that one. Going on to the next game, we're talking about the brand new Hydras of Curious, Kason, and Amazon taking on the Griffins in Brother, I believe last season known as Duolingo, NFC Atlas, and Hoodie. Snipers, any history with any of these players? Who do you think wins this one?
I do not have any history with any of these players. I don't think so. Oh, actually, I do. Atlas.
Oh, there you go.
I played with Atlas, and I believe I've also played with Brother, so I'm gonna have to go with the Griffins on this one.
The Griffins because of past games. Hey, it
Yep.
works out. Moifin, Hydras or Griffins? What are you thinking?
Well, as garbage as I think Curious and Kaysen are, they're not bad enough to lose this game. They're both complete garbage, but they might be able to win one series here.
Okay. Okay. One series wonder we think from the Hydras this season.
If they get lucky. Come on now. Don't give them too much credit now.
No, of course not. Brother had a phenomenal season last season. Having said that, I'm not sure. Just based on the salaries that Atlas and Hoodie are going to match up. So I'm going to have to go with my fellow Brit. He's going to hate that he is being called British right now because all Scottish do. But Curious is, of course, Scottish. He's from my side of the pond. So I've got to support him. I've got to support him, even if he annoys me. So Curious and Kaysen and Amazon if he plays to win this game. The Hydras take it over the Griffins, I think. Close game though. I think if Brother plays, he's going to put in absolutely one hell of a game. Moving on to the Eagles versus the Owls, it is the return of Tinori. He missed out season 3, but he is back for season 4. Very, very exciting. Playing alongside Paddy P and Bell, taking on the Owls team of 007 Folly, Toucan, our wonderful streamer, and Maleficent. So, knowing that Toucan is our streamer, Moifin, where is your allegiances for this one?
Well, I played with Bell for a little bit, and I played against Bell for a little bit, and he's good. There's no other way to phrase it. I love the 007 Folly name, but it's got to be the Eagles.
Eagles to take this one for Moifin. Snipers, what is your thinking?
I'm gonna have to go with the Owls on this one.
Okay, any particular reason?
Uh, no, not like any particular reason. I don't think I've seen anyone on the Eagles play.
Mhm.
I have definitely seen Toucan play and Maleficent play, and I think I've seen 007 Foley play as well, but I'm not 100% certain on that one.
Okay. Very, very interesting. We've got one for the Eagles, one for the Owls. To me, um, I gotta go with my guy Toucan. Unfortunately, um, he is obviously streaming tonight, and I think he had an incredible season last season. Toucan and Senpai absolutely ripping up the league, playing very, 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 very well. And if he's managed to find players who he can work with, I think he really goes into expert with a lot of hype, and I hope he can perform this season. Um, not to put any pressure on you, Toucan, not at all. But if I lose this prediction, I'm going to be talking about it next week, and you're going to be streaming. So you don't want that. You don't want that smoke. Let me tell you that right now. Um, Owls to take this one, I think. But saying that again, return of Tinori, Bell, and Patty, great players. So very, very interesting to see how that game goes. Finally, in the Expert League, we have the Penguins, Hayes, Rage, and Gabe taking on the Seagulls, which is Brent, Not a Jewel, and Hyper Coda. Where am I going to go first? This one, Snipers. What are you saying about this game?
Um, I'm gonna say this one's gonna go to Game 5, and it's gonna be 3-2 Penguins. I'm
There
gonna
you
have to
go.
go with my old team on that one. I'm gonna have to rep the Penguins on this one.
The Penguins get the vote from Snipers. Moifin, what about you?
I'm gonna have to do the same. I think Penguins take this one.
Very interesting. Any particular reason, or just
I mean,
fancy?
just based off of salary, Hayes and Gabe both being 14-6 and up, I think they've got a better chance just based off of MMR.
Okay. The MMR vote always strong. We'll see if it pays off. I am actually going to go with the Seagulls, and the only reason I'm going to do that is because there's been a lot in this offseason about Not a Jewel and Hypercoda being pretty good. And Brent up on that 14-4, that's not too shabby, especially for an expert league. So um, I think the Penguins could definitely do it, but as you already know in these predictions so far, I very much like a balanced team. And I think the Seagulls have the more balanced team. I think they take it this week. Uh, I think in 5 games, though, I agree. I think it goes 3-2. Be a close one, though. Brent has heard his name as soon as he joined. I am the only one on this panel, Brent, who believes in you. That's all you need to know. And we move on to the next league, which is Star League, our joint smallest league, actually. So we should be able to rattle through this one. We start with the team that both of these guys are on. It is the Colts, Michael and Chris P, taking on the Vipers of Rev and Covius. Moifin, talk to me about this game.
Well, in semifinals, I played against Revan Covius, and I have respect for him, but at the same time, I dropped 950 average on their heads. So I'm gonna have to go with the Colts.
He actually did too. Um, Snipers, what about you?
I'm gonna have to go with the Colts, obviously. Colts all day, every day. It's gonna be a close one. I want to see a Game 5. I want to see some OTs, and I want to see a lot of demos. I love demos. So hopefully the Colts bring out some demo plays, and I'm gonna go with 3-2 Colts.
I would love to see some demos as well in this game. I think it would be great. Michael, I think, had a good season last season. I think he played well. Um, I think Rev and Covius have this purely based on the fact that I know they were a team last season. And will have been working in the off season together to try and get this game sorted. I'm going against the panel here. I'm sorry, Colts fans. Don't shake your head at me like that, Moifin. I see you. I think it's going to be the Vipers. I think the Vipers do take this one. It's tight though. I genuinely do think this will be a close game. I'd love to see it. I think it'll be really 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 close. Moving on to the next game in the Terra Conference in Star, it's the Rams of J-Dubs, Water and Raspberries taking on the Gators of Stoobs and the Llama, I assume. Moifin, what is your initial opinion on this one?
I've played against Shade Ups, and I don't know about Magic and or whoops, I don't know about Water and Raspberries. For the Gators, obviously, I played with Stoobs. I do know that he got a new desktop rather than a laptop, and so that'll affect his play. And I've seen the Llama play, and I know he plays or tried to qualify for CRL as well. And so I think I'm gonna have to go with Gators.
Gators for this one from Moifin. Snipers, what are you thinking? Going with the teammate on this one?
Yes, I'm also gonna have to go with the Gators on this one.
Awesome. Any particular reason?
No, no particular reason.
Nice. Obviously, Stoobs and yourself, Moifin, had a great season last season, and I think he will have another great season. But for me, I think the Rams have just a little bit too much. I think they've worked. To me, it looks like they've worked in the off season. They've had their team set for quite a while. I think they take this one. I think Raspberries and either J Dobbs or Water, whoever decides to play, are gonna be running this game, and I think they win it pretty comfortably. I'm gonna say. I don't think it will be a sweep, but I think they win it pretty comfortably. Sorry, Stoobs, if you're in the chat. Loads of respect. Love you from last season. We move on to the flight conference, and we're talking about the Owls taking on the Hydras. The Owls, Laggy Puppy, Magic, and Cruisin' Kid taking on the Hydras of Wide Shade, Sifri, and Alpha Doggy. Snipers, any idea on this game?
I have not heard of any of these players. I think the
Okay.
only person I somewhat know, slash somewhat heard of, is Alpha. But
Mhm.
based off of salaries here, I'm gonna have to go with. I want to see the Owls on this one.
The Owls says Snipers. Moifin, what
Mhm.
is your opinion here?
I've played with Cruisin' Kid, and I know he's really good mechanically. He really pissed me off to play against. It was not fun to play against, and so I've played against Wide Shade, and I've seen Alpha Doggy, and neither of them give me as much trouble, and so I'll have to take Owls as well.
Owls for both of the people on the panel. I am just looking at the salaries, and I think it's going to be a clean sweep on the panel for a first time in a while. I think I'm going to go for the Owls as well. Looking at it, I think they have too much for the Hydras. I'm excited to see how this one goes, though. All of the salaries are really, really close. So whoever plays from either team, it should be a close game and should be really, really entertaining. Entertaining. Keep your eyes out for that one this weekend. Next up, we're going to switch over to the other side of Flight League, Penguins, which is Doomster, House, and Doctor Serial taking on the Dragons of Wyveria, Pro, and Alex. Moifin, where is your money on this one?
Penguins. I've played with Chaos, and
Chaos, that's it.
yeah, I've played with him for 6 months now.
Wow.
He's peaked near 1703s. I think he got to like 1690, something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the Penguins take this one.
Interesting thoughts. Snipers, what do you think here?
I'm gonna have to go with my teammate said and go with my old team, the Penguins, on this one. I can see them pulling it out against the Dragons.
Go with the old team. Surely it never fails. For me, I think the Dragons last season had such a good season. You're talking Wyverian Pro, carrying Hawkish to that championship is absolutely no mean feat, and having that kind of baggage weighing you down as you're trying to push through a season is pretty tough, and they still managed to take home the dub. It was Expert, I think they were in last season. They've got the upgrade into Star this season. So I'm going to have to go Barbarian Pro based on what I've seen from them. But I hear that the Penguins obviously are going to be pretty impressive this season. I think this game could go either way, but the teamwork of Wyverian Pro for me is where I think I'm going to put my money. And we have 5 minutes left to go through Elite. But I think we might be able to spend a little bit extra time because one of our panelists is obviously from this league. So let's start right at the top. We're going to go with the Huskies, Lolly Lettuce, and Tater taking on the Rams, Prosperity 2K, and Mike is my Ike. Moifin, this is your league. Where are you going here?
Huskies. Obviously, Tater made it to the championship last season. I've queued into Prosperity and ranked back in Star with Stoobs, and I think we beat him. I'm not 100% on that, but for sure the Huskies.
For sure, the Huskies, he says. Snipers, do you also believe this?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Huskies as well.
Yeah. I think there is a huge disparity in salaries here, and Tater, if he plays anything like he did last season, is going to be an absolute monster in Elite this season. With also Lottie Letters coming in with quite a lot of hype around him. So I'm excited to see this team work, and I think this is going to be a quick 3-0. Unfortunately for Prosperity, I apologize to you guys, but I think that's going to be it. The next game we might not even have to talk about because it is the Hornets taking on the Vipers. And as far as I can tell, the Hornets do not have any elite players picked up in their team yet. The Vipers are Cryptic, Ricky, and Twan. So I don't know where we go with this. Do you know anything about these Vipers players, Moifin? What are we talking about here? Are they going to be competing?
I think I've queued into Cryptic before, and he's solid. I don't know much about the other two, but obviously Hornets doesn't have a team, and the very obvious answer here is definitely the Vipers.
Yeah, I don't think we'll carry on talking about this one. It could be just a disqualification for the Hornets. Could be the first win on the board without playing any Rocket League for the Vipers. But one to look out for that one. If it does play, see what the Hornets come with because it's going to be a little bit last minute. Moving on to the main event of the Terra Conference this week in Elite. It of course features our esteemed guest Moifin in the Colts with Milio and Soars taking on the Monkeys team of Chris with a K and Drew's Clues, same as they had last season. Moifin, talk to me about your team and why you're not going to play.
So I'm not going to play for obvious reasons, as Soars is a 1900. I brought him in the league to carry me, and then he brought in someone to carry him. And Emilio is literally a 1990. So, with a lot of respect for Chris, he's a great player and he's fun to play with. I don't think he can beat a 2K in a 1900.
I think that's a very fair point. Snipers, I can't even ask if you agree because I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Can you think of any way that Can you think of a reason why the Monkeys should be able to win this game?
No, I
Okay,
cannot.
good.
I don't have any reason why the Monkeys would beat the Colts.
Okay. So the Colts take this one for you as well. I'm going to give you one, and it's going to be based on the fact that the Monkeys obviously played in the league last season with this lineup. They have the knowledge of the Frontier Doubles League. They know how to play with each other. They have the teamwork. Is that going to be enough to overtake a 20 and a 19? maybe it isn't. I think I'm still going to go for the Colts on this one. I think that's where my money should be. Um, but I don't see the Monkeys going down without a fight. I think they are definitely going to put up a pretty good game, and I would really be interested to see how they get on with this one. And also, I would be interested to see how many games Moifin warms the bench this season, taking lead from Hawkish IC. Moving on to Flight Conference, we're going to talk about the Eagles, which, of course, our championship team of CBK and Sky taking on the Penguins, Suave Penguin, and Hellcat. Snipers, do you know much about these teams? Did you watch the final last season?
So unfortunately, I did not watch the final last season
Oh,
as I
you
had
missed
some
out.
plans come up when the game was on. So
Mhm.
I unfortunately missed it. But I'm looking forward to this game. Eagles, Penguins. I've seen Swamp Penguin play. I don't think I've ever seen Hellcat play. But I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles on this one. Yes, I'm going against my former team on this one, but hey, it happens sometimes.
For the first time this predictions, I think he's gone
Yes.
against his former team. Moifin, what do you know about these players?
As much as CBK is a crayon muncher, I think he and Sky have this one locked up pretty easily.
Very nice and well put, I have to say. Yeah, for me, it's CBK and Sky to win this one. They looked so dominant last season. Um, and if I'm gonna be honest, the only team I think might even give them a fight is the Hydras in their league. Just based on what I can see in front of me, I think Sky and CBK are destined to have another playoff run, where hopefully we get the CBK Moifin grudge match we all want and need. Moving on to Owls taking on the Dragons, we have MJ, Payne, and Lefty on the Owls taking on Kyle and Luxury on the Dragons. Snipers, where are you going here?
Um, so based off salaries, it looks like it's fairly close. I'm gonna have to go with the Dragons on this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close as well. Moifin, any insider knowledge you can give us on this game?
Yeah, I wanted a team like Lux, like I said, but he's just an incredible player.
Hmm.
He's fun to play with, so I'll take Dragons as well.
Would you say, after looking for luxury, you upgraded with Soars, or would you
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
okay, not even a thought?
not even a thought.
Okay, we'll have to see how luxury does this week. I think I will also go with the Dragons. I think it's a clean sweep on the panel. Um, I think luxury now with the inner fire in his belly from Moifin saying that he's got an upgrade. Um, will play out of his mind this weekend and drop 1,000 average points per game. That's my prediction. I don't see any reason why that can't happen. Dragons to take this one for me, and finally, a unicorns team with only one player in it at the moment, from what I can tell. Nope, that is a complete lie. They do have a full team of Zekers, Laser, and Welks taking on the Hydra's team of Anti and Azza. Moifin, talk me through this one.
If it's a laser I'm thinking of, he's solid. I don't think he has enough to take down as an anti. Um, laser is solid. Like I said, I've played with him in ranked.
Mhm.
Um, but anti may be garbage, but he can get carried as well. I believe in him.
You believe in him. Good stuff. Snipers, are you going to go with your teammate on this one?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go with him on this one as well.
And any particular reason, or just for the background knowledge?
Just for the background knowledge.
Nice. I like it. For me, yeah, I think there's been a lot made in this offseason about Anti and Azza. I think a lot of people saying that they're playing really well, working well as a team. So I don't see any reason why they don't take this game uh, in pretty convincing fashion. I could see it being a 3-1 maybe even a 3-0. For the Hydras, wonderful. We have managed to work through every single game that is going to be played in the Frontier Doubles League this weekend. Congratulations to both of my guests. And also, one of them has decided that they want to be an honorary Englishman with the top hat and the monocle and the mustache. I approve as a fellow Brit. We move on to a final point. I'm going to go to Moifin and then I'm going to Snipers. One last thing you want to say on the podcast, on the record, about whatever you want, about the league, about other people, about whatever you want. I'm going to go to Moifin first. Last point from you.
It's truly unfortunate that CBK won't be able to see another undefeated season.
Yes, good. Exactly what I was asking for. Snipers, what about you? Anyone you want to call out? Any last minute moments?
No, not really. I'm just excited to play, and I'm excited to see where my team goes. Hopefully, we can go undefeated. If not, have a positive uh, season. Hopefully, we take this to the finals. I believe in my guys, and we're gonna see where it goes after this weekend.
That is awesome and a wonderful message to end FDL Central this week on. Thank you so much for joining us on the live stream. If you did, it's great to have that instant feedback. We really appreciate it. Thank you to Moifin and Snipers for joining me tonight, for all of the insight that you guys provided and the wonderful jabs at CBK. We appreciate you. And also massively thank you to Toucan, our streamer tonight. Without him, this show doesn't get made. So thank you so much for streaming, and thank you so much for watching. We will see you next Wednesday, same time, same place, 6 p.m. EST for FDL Central, where we will go through week 1 of the FDL season 4, looking ahead to week 2 and all of the storylines leading into it. For now, I've been RhinoBoy11. This has been FDL Central. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week. Good night.